Hi, this is Billy Tarasio from Modern Law, and today I want to talk to you about co-parenting special needs kiddos. So, if you have a kiddo with special needs, you are more likely to get divorced. It's not exactly shocking. Is a lot of conflict that can happen in households with special needs kiddos, and that could be everything from somebody who's got a learning disability, all the way to somebody who's got somebody who's in a wheelchair or has surgeries repeatedly. So any type of special needs that your kids have is going to create stress on your marriage, and you may be more likely to end up divorced. Now, co-parenting post divorce with kids with special needs is really, really hard. Arizona has this presumption for joint legal decision making, which means that major decisions like medical decisions and scholastic decisions have to be made jointly. Now, most of the time, this doesn't really matter because there aren't a lot of decisions that have to be made jointly that are major about most kids. But for kids with special needs of any type, medication, issues, school issues, these decisions have to be made far, far more often. And they can be very, very intense. In my own family, I've got 4 kiddos, and 2 of my boys have been diagnosed with ADHD. Now, ADHD is not all that uncommon. I think 1 in 10 kids is diagnosed with ADHD, but real ADHD absolutely wreaks havoc on a kiddo, or can. It affects every single aspect of their life, their ability to interact with their peers, their ability to do well in school, their ability to learn, their ability to function in the school environment. And our oldest kiddo, we co-parented together. We made decisions together. We worked together, and we did a really good job for him. He's doing really well. He is a freshman, and it went well. Now, for our younger kiddo, who was more recently diagnosed with ADHD, he was diagnosed with ADHD after our separation, and we didn't really see he demonstrated, presented as very, very different from our oldest kiddo. So neither of us assumed that he had ADHD. But when he started kindergarten, it became really clear to me that he was having a hard time learning. He just wasn't retaining information the same way that all of my other kids had, the same way that I would have expected him to. So we were going over the same words all the time. And then he struggled all through kindergarten. And I wanted to intervene and behave in a way that I had similarly with our oldest kiddo, which was a lot of intervention, a lot of, neurofeedback and supplements and eventually medication. And that all really helped, and that worked. But with our younger kiddo, my ex-husband, who has joint legal decision making with me was completely and fundamentally opposed. He was opposed to having him evaluated for an IEP, opposed to getting him additional resources in school, opposed to any sort of intervention like neurofeedback or supplements or anything like that. And it has made things very, very difficult. And it's eventually working out slowly but surely, but things are taking so much longer than they would have if we were an intact married family. And these, people, if you're in this situation, it can be very tempting to just run back to court. And I do think in cases where there are kids who have any special needs, sole legal decision making or final legal decision making authority is so much more important than it is in a normal case, but it's also hard to get. And judges don't necessarily understand. And we had a parenting coordinator who didn't understand. She didn't have special needs kiddos. She did not understand. And many people don't. And it can be a real uphill battle. So you need to craft your parenting plan carefully. You need to have a real strategy in place for how you're going to communicate and how you're going to make decisions. And then the other thing that you kind of have to do is let go of the things that you can't control, and realize that you have to be the best parent that you can for your kiddo with the constraints that are real for you. And even though they weren't the same constraints that you had when you're married, you've got a new constraint. And it's not easy, but I think with dedication and persistence and patience, you can still be a great advocate for your child. If you've got questions on that, co-parenting issues, special needs kiddos, make sure to contact Modern Law. We would love to help.